Connecting. Machiwa. Holy ones. Welcome, family. The Christos. Christic family. The Guardian Angelic Nations. The Guardian Alliance. The Orifame. The Azurites. The Angelic Humans. Turnicium. Welcome, welcome, holy ones. Much respect to all of you and your spiritual journey. It is an honor to be walking this path with all of you. We all have this, biological family, but this is what we would call our spiritual family, our family of consciousness, who are all aligning with, the ones who are aligning with the original source God's intention for this time matrix, this reality, this universe. And so I'm just grateful just to even have the opportunity, the honor to be sharing these teachings with all of you, which is historical. And it has been, you would say, an ancient heritage. Goes way back beyond what mainstream science calls Sumer, that's supposedly the most ancient culture. It is not. According to these teachings, which are the Emerald Order of Freedom teachings, also called the Inner Christos, Law of One. Emerald Covenant, baby. According to these teachings, these are parts, the Guardian Alliance, what tonight's video, the title of the video tonight is much more older than any of our cultures on Earth. And so there's a huge, huge missing part of our history that is intentionally buried, covered up, censored. Okay? So what you're going to be hearing tonight is not coming from mainstream science or history. It's coming from those who remember, who hold the record. And that is the guardians. What we call, there's, in the time matrix, we have these several different dimensions of reality. So the guardians would be at the very top, the ones who are not being affected by distortion, whether that's physical, biological distortions in your DNA, or any type of emotional distortions in your mental body, or in any type of mental, psychological distortions in our mental body, they call it, or the ego, the reasoning mind, or any type of spiritual distortions. Okay, that's what the guardians are. They don't have any of those distortions, and they're actively aligned with the Law of One, which is a sacred universal concept, not limited to Earth or humans, but all of creation, all of the multiverse, which is 5 universes of different levels of density matter. I made videos about that recently, and also about, all this is something that is, we're in a spiritual drama, and so we have these different groups that we're dealing with. Some of them are negative, some of them are positive. Let me make sure that you guys can hear me and see me okay. It looks like we're good to go. Machiwa, holy ones. And just making sure, 1 second here. Yeah, okay. So I'm so happy to see you guys coming on in. 27 vatos in the house. Machiwa. So let me light my incense as well. It is certainly, kind of like dramatic drama happening on Earth. That's because humans are in some type of spiritual bondage. When we're all humans, right? We're all originally, these beings who were practicing the sacred universal law of one, not religions, not subservience, not slavery and blind worshiping. Okay, that is what is spiritual bondage when you got 8 billion people following those false, inverted teachings of religions and New Age and occult systems. So it's kind of like an attack, not to mention all of the hybrids that are influencing the human civilization. You know, the people who are rulers, the kings, the queens, the emperors, the popes, the CEOs, the gurus. Well, gurus are a little bit different category or distraction, but just realize that there are those who are puppets for these extraterrestrial beings, negative extraterrestrial beings, what the guardians themselves call the intruder races or fallen angels. And so this is why we have something called the Guardian Alliance. And think of that word, you guys. Guardian angel. Some of these are angels. And remember, from these teachings, an angel is an extraterrestrial in the 4th, the 5th, or the 6th dimension. So some of them are angels. Some of them are archangels, which is in the etheric matter density universe, dimensions 7, 8, and 9. Also called oversouls. So these oversouls, guardians, are also, archangels are also part of the Guardian Alliance, those who are following the law of one. Of course, there's many archangels and angels who are fallen, who are actually working with these negative groups, like the Luciferian extraterrestrial groups, or the different reptilian and different Anunnaki groups. So there's an active conflict going on. And you would think that maybe positive beings wouldn't be doing that, but that is part. I mean, think about this, you guys. You don't allow someone to hurt you, harm you, or your children. You would take action. You would, almost like a reflex, especially a mother, someone trying to mess with her babies or her cubs, for example. That mother will fiercely, with its own life, protect its children. Okay, so we protect, we guard. We're not going to just be pushovers. You don't let someone beat you up. Okay, we're not about weapons and war, but those fallen races bring us weapons and war. This is why we have guardians, guarding, defending, protecting. So some of you may find yourself, considering that you're a light worker, serving light, serving the positive, the good side, right? Well, some are, first of all, that is the service to others, who consider others, who care about others, who love others. And then there's the service to self, to the ego, which is a low form of consciousness right here. The solar plexus templar, called it's the solar plexus chakra, the reasoning mind, the ego, which is a trap, which is a distortion. You don't want to be serving your limited 3D ego, but there's plenty of selfish people in the world, selfish intruder races, about themselves and about what they can take, what they can steal. Okay? So what they can feed off of. A narcissist, a psychopath, a fallen angelic, a demonic consciousness is feeding off of your life force, your kundalini, it's called. And kundalini, there's many different levels of that life force energy, not just simple kundalini. Okay? So there is the frequency between dimensions 1 through 9, that is kundalini. But remember, there's 15 dimensions. So beyond the 9th dimension, 10, 11, and 12, is the Maharata, Christos frequency. And so beyond the Maharata is the Kirishe. And then beyond that is the Kundare, which is, these are levels of biology, levels of consciousness, levels of energy. And so we all come together from these different levels of consciousness and energy. And so are the fallen beings, the negative ones, who are trying to stop what human race represent. We are a part of this guardian alliance. And notice, you guys, I'm not saying galactic federation. So those of you who are maybe new to this source material, information, teaching, may think, what do you mean? What's wrong with the Galactic Federation? You guys, the Galactic Federation is a fallen angelic group posing as good guys. And you will find that as a common theme, especially with the Anunnaki groups, mostly. The reptilian groups aren't trying to trick you, fool you. They just want to come in and beat you up. The Anunnaki play these games, mental games, tricks, illusions, hoaxes. And one of the biggest hoaxes of the Anunnaki, specifically the Jehovian Anunnaki, is creating councils. Council of Nine, fallen angelic group. According to the Inner Christos Voyagers books and teachings, they point them out. This isn't your brother Anuhazi's opinions or ideas. I'm agreeing with those ideas because I resonate. I remember, some of you remember Atlantis, Lemuria, Guardian Alliance, Emerald Order, Emerald Covenant. Some of you remember your angelic self, archangelic self, your avatar, Christos family. You remember those solar Rishi, Elohai, Seraphi, Brahmarama. You remember your ascended master level, your Ayani, your Yana self. Holy ones. And it is your soul, your DNA template, that is guiding you towards either the path of chaos or the path of order. Guardian angelic nations, the positive, the good guys, are following the path of order. Okay? The fallen angelics, the selfish, me, ego beings, service to self, are following the path of chaos. That path leads you to the destiny of sorrow. This guardian path of order leads you to the destiny of joy. Which one sounds better, joy or sorrow? You see, they're conflicting. They're opposition. It's polarization. And that is not a natural state. And once upon a time, we were all beings, all those intruder races were all good once upon a time. We were all serving the path of order, the destiny of joy, which is God's source, God's original intention. This is source God's preference. Yes, God has a preference. There is something called divine right order. So spirituality, spiritual awakening, and ascension is not an opinion. There is an actual structure, divine, original, intended structure of source God's creation that we exist within. And so some of you who are calling yourselves guardians, this is the team that we're on. Okay? We're not trying to make teams or enemies. It is those fallen beings on the path of chaos who are creating this conflict. Because there was no conflict before. Conflict came out of distortion, which originally happened with the avatars, which is density universe 4. We're in density universe 1. Okay? That's the incarnate level. Then the angelic level is universe 2. Universe 3 is the archangelic oversoul level. And now the avatar level, which is liquid light, which is, you would say, crystal liquid or, density matter. So those are the beings. The avatars are basically within the manifestation avatars would be your highest level before you can go out of the time matrix, out of this polarization. You know, we got particle and antiparticle, that's a polarization. We got male and female, that's a polarization. You're going to leave all of that polarization, leave the gender, leave the individual experience, and return back to source, return back to those eternal gestalts of consciousness in the primal light fields, also called the Kundalini. You know, that is where we originally come from. All beings are coming from that unified field of creation, of source, of God. And so that is our shared identity. And a lot of these fallen angelics forgot that connection, forgot that, hey, we're the same. We originate from the one. We're all coming from God, whether you dismiss God, and hey, we be very careful what we're calling God. Okay, we usually say source God, God force, or the Unisci. So that is, just to clarify, we're not saying Yahweh, Father God, or Brahma, or Allah, or any of these other ET gods who are very negative. Remember, God is positive, not negative. That's your first red flag. And it's because of this distorted consciousness, which is multidimensional. According to these teachings, it goes all the way up to the 11th dimension. Most people in New Age think it's only some lower astral, which is only 4D, D4. No, all the way up to D11. Okay, so astral has distortion, the archetype has distortion, 5th dimension, the 6th dimension has distortion, the 7th, the 8th, the 9th, the 10th, the 11th dimension, all those have distortion. Because of the creation mechanics, when you affect the 11th dimension, it affects everything below it. Let's say it happened in the 6th dimension. Well, it would only affect dimensions 1 through 6. But unfortunately, this happened at the avatar level, in the liquid light level, in dimension 11. That was the original fall, 250 billion years ago. But this entire creation was made 950 billion years ago. So we all got along, you guys. We didn't need a guardian alliance. We didn't need an interdimensional association of free worlds, IAFW. We didn't need the Azurites. Okay? We didn't need the angelic humans. All of this started because of that original fall. Specifically, those two first angelic races were the Anu Elohim, the fallen Anu race, which are feline aquatic apes. And the other opposing faction, kind of like competing faction, was the Omicron dragon moths. They're dino reptilian beings. And so these are the beings who fell because of DNA code convolution. That's where you keep your DNA, like they're creating all these different races within the same template. And when you do that, it creates these variants. It creates distortions in the DNA template. And so when you got these races with newly distorted DNA templates, those DNA templates will create distorted consciousness, because the consciousness is, or your life experience is based off of that DNA template. So you gotta, just like you have something wrong with your car, there's some distortion in your car, or distortion in your television now, or your radio. Now it's not operating or functioning at its original intention. And in this case, it would be your original divine blueprint. Now it's some distorted template. And so now you have a distorted consciousness. As soon as you get distorted consciousness, now it could just get worse and worse and worse. It becomes evil. Now, the Guardians don't use that term evil. That's a polarized word. I'm just giving you an idea from most people's understanding that it is dark and twisted consciousness. It's considered a reverse consciousness. At the worst levels, it's a phantom consciousness for coming out of the phantom matrix. And so we don't want that path of unconscious oblivion, of self-annihilation. That's what that path is. Even if these beings forgot that, don't remember that, don't believe that. So that is what tonight's topic is based on, you guys. We didn't need security, guardians, guarding and protecting, because we were all blissed out. We were all in the ecstasy and orgasm of source and joy of God and everything in love, omni-love. You wouldn't have no care in the world or, of danger. You would just be all just loving and smiling and happy and partying and just having like indigo type of raves and dances and relationships. It would just, life would be just exquisite. That's how it was for 700 billion years, you guys. In comes the Guardian teachings, talking about how the original fall happened. And now you got this Voyager's books. We didn't need a Voyager's books. We didn't need the CDD plates. Because it was within us. It still is. But now we've forgotten and we're disconnected from that history. So now the Guardians bring these teachings. Now the Guardians, now because of the fall, and what are these beings doing? Well, the fallen beings doing? They're freaking on a blood spree. And that's not me. You'll see the Guardians and Voyagers saying they went on a blood spree. They were killing. They were not just humans or enslaving people, dominating people, races. They were doing that to planets. They would destroy planets and beings. They were evil, wicked, diabolical. You would say opposing Guardians. They're anti-Christos, anti-God, anti-human, for example, and anti-Earth. They're basically parasites. They're energy vampires. They're anti-life. And that's why we now have, because it wasn't always a Guardian Alliance. They tell you exactly when the Guardian Alliance was created. They tell you exactly when the IAFW was created, when the Azarites were created. They weren't always here or needed. We weren't here or needed. We're part of that Guardian Alliance team. We're part of the Emerald Covenant Holy Ones. We were created by them, by the series of different creations. First, they had to create the Lyran Syrian Anuhazi, who created a couple other Guardian races to help in this whole program, agenda, such as the Elohim, the positive Elohim, not the Anu Elohim, the third density ones, and the Azarites, the Blue Human Maharaji, and the Oraphim, those races. Then they created the Angelic Humans as guardians, guarding, protecting, defending. So that's what we're going to be talking about tonight, you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Bless you, all of you. I don't have one single moderator tonight, so you guys have to be on your best behavior until a moderator comes in. Machiwa. I lit my charcoal, but I didn't actually lay down the incense. Woohoo! Can already hear it crackling, popping. Got some copal. Let me get a nice piece. Copal. I always like to co-create with this very extremely positive frequency, which is basically the essence or the sap from trees from around the world, specific ones. Not all incense is sap. Some of it's woods, like Palo Santo's a wood, but used as an incense. Got some amber here, It's basically smudging yourself, your whole body, your face. Your hands, your arms, your legs, your whole body. Take a bath. Smudge yourself. Shikas masu. Gratitude. Thank you, frankincense, enzoin, benzoin, copal, amber, myrrh. Jeshua was brought frankincense and myrrh. Greetings, holy ones. Thank you for being with me tonight. We got Monk Goddess in the house. Greetings to you. We got Stephanie. Hello to you as well. We have Cristobal Medina. Hello, all. And we also got Brent. Hello, everybody. Good to see you. Rage Manny in the house. Christic Mystic. Good evening, holy ones. Good evening to you, holy one. Mark Russell, Pure Water. Hello, fam. Got Warren ATC. Thank you for being here with your wisdom, Anahazi. And for the wonderful people on the channel. Thank you, holy one. Thank you, brother. Yeah. Guardians representing, right? Yeah. Cora, Zon 61 through 5. Hello, brother Anahazi. I have a question about existence. I hope you can answer it. I hope I can too. Are our 1,728 copies different beings like plants, animals, and aliens? Does each type of being in the... I guess you got cut off there, but you continue on. Have its own soul, or does each soul have its own multidimensional family? Do beings share the same spiritual families, or does each type of being have spiritual families that differ from others? Good question, Holy One. And so let me go from in the order that you asked. Are our 1728 copies, that's 1,728 copies, or we don't call it copies, we call it fragments or faces of the Christos avatar. It is your avatar, your 12D avatar, who has projected all these conscious levels of itself. But it's also the higher identities as well, because remember, it's part of the triadic, the polaric, and the ecadic levels of the Kirishe. That's also part of your DNA template and identities and energies. But all beings, not some, not just a few, all beings have 1,728 different incarnations. And so, yes, they would all be individuals with their own free will. Some of them could ascend, some of them can fall. The whole purpose is to experience manifestation, for spirit to become manifest. And but this time matrix has distortion now, so it's challenging now to come here with your family of consciousness and put it in all these different levels. Remember, we have 12 dimensions to incarnate into. You don't incarnate into dimensions 13, 14, and 15. That's the solar rishi level. Those beings are always there. They don't ascend out. They're always serving that role. Okay, they're the ones who created the original founder planets and the founder races. So some of them can incarnate down here, but it doesn't. But they will return back to the antimatter universe. There's 5 universes, remember, but we're incarnating between the first four universes. So your avatar is the one that is going to fragment its consciousness into all these identities. You exist as an avatar as all these different identities, just as God's source is experiencing itself in all of the avatar identities. So So each one of your selves out of 1,728, some of those will go into the first universe, some are going to go into the second universe, and some into the third, and spread out in the fourth universe. And also remember, there's a whole parallel, antimatter, parallel universe side. So you have some of those consciousness just as you have them here, which is, let me see. Like there is numbers in God, there's specific numbers you can give. And the Guardians have given those numbers. So 144 in each universe. Remember, there's 10 here and 10 on the other side. But let's just do one side, right? Times 4. You have 576 just on that side, okay? But if you want to add the Solar Rishi side, it's 720, I believe. Let me double check. 720 cells on the particle matrix and 720 cells on the antiparticle matrix. So technically down here times 2 would be 1440, right? 1440, 1440. The others are in higher dimensions. So I'm just trying to be very accurate. I mean, specific. So we actually have 1444 in the time matrix between the first and fourth universes. And all of those are identities of your collective family, your personal collective family. And so they all have their own free will choices, but the goal is to awaken to its memory of itself, of its avatar self, and go through the spiritual ascension process and then return back, because you're learning all these lessons. Becoming manifest in the time matrix is teaching you lessons, or you could say new experiences, kind of like vacation. It's originally meant to be like a party, you know, like but some party it became, right? So some bad apples had to ruin it for all of us. Now we have sorrow and suffering and pain and diseases and cancers and death and murder and sacrifice and war. Now we have all this polarized experiences. So it's not a party. It's not so joyous as we originally intended. So they can be different beings. They can, because remember, the DNA template of the human is only in the 5D, 6D and 5D. As soon as you go into the third universe, you're no longer human. Now you evolve into the higher DNA template, which would be the Lyran, Siran, Anahazi, or a Maharaji, or an Azarite, or an Oraphim. You'll experience those identities. So they can be different. Remember, you're not the body. You're the consciousness that's in the body. You're the Christos avatar in the human. You're the Christos avatar that's in the angel. You're the Christos avatar that's experiencing an archangel, which are different beings. They're Lyran beings, insectoid beings, reptilian beings, amphibian or aquatic beings. There's etheric beings. There's all kinds of beings that you could be experiencing. So just to answer your question, yeah, you would be experiencing, but it's all from one family. And I have my family, you have your family, and the other person, your brothers and sisters, have their Christos avatar families. So Stephanie, what do you feel is happening now with our path as far as we have learned through Ashana, Dean's teachings, and where are we now? Well, we're still in this spiritual warfare that's playing out in Earth. We can see it. We see it in our politics, in our rulers. We see it in all the people following distortions of religion. Just look and see where we're at. Ascension and spiritual awakening has always been and will always be an individual process. But if we could get most of humans awakening, it's not happening though, then we have a chance to awaken together, but that's not happening. We are fragmented and all these different, root races and the starseed races. And this didn't happen yesterday. This has been ongoing since the original Atlantean conspiracy, which also includes way back into Human Seeding 2 and Human Seeding 1, which were both destroyed. This is a redo, our third Human Seeding. And you will find out from Voyagers, that they took us over in parallel Earth. Remember, I talked about we're supposed to be working together in our awakening and ascension with our doppelganger, with our parallel selves. Well, Earth was taken over. And according to the Voyagers books, that's going into pole shift eventually. It even says it will end up being it's guaranteed, basically, to go into pole shift. That affects us here. It doesn't look good, Holy One, for the human race. So we have different timelines based on what your frequency is and your choices, your relationships, your thinking, your conversations. Depends on which one you're on. There is the phantom Earth timeline. Those beings are the ones who could keep on following religions, keep on falling into distortions. They're not growing, they're not evolving, they're just reincarnating over and over. Those are the one. That's the worst path, falling into the phantom Earth, which is the Phantom Matrix universe, which makes it extremely difficult to get out of after you fall into that far down. So that's the negative path. There's two positive paths. The second one being so positive, not so great positive, but it's better than Phantom Earth. And that is the Inner Earth timeline. So that's only 4.5 DNA strand activation. That Phantom Earth is anything below 4.5. 4.5. When most humans are 2.5 or 3.5, according to the teachings and according to Ashiana herself. I've heard her say several times, most humans are between 2.5 and 3.5. That's not even close to 4.5, which is the astral chakra activation and up, getting close to the throat. Kind of like in between 4.5. Gets you to 3.5 dimension, which is Inner Earth. Inner Earth is 3.5. See, our universe goes up to 3.0. You can say after 3.0 is the second universe and dimensions 4, 5, and 6. So Inner Earth is 3.5. That's not even in our universe. So you would ascend to that Inner Earth timeline if you have 4.5. Now, if you have 5.5, you're going to go to 5D Tara. I mean, if you have 5 strands, you're going to go. You need 5.5. No, you need 6 strands to go to Tara 5D. Remember, your consciousness is always one dimension higher than your body is and existing. So, you would need to go. Those are the 3 timelines: Tara 5D, Inner Earth 4D. It's actually 3.5D. And then the falling Phantom Earth. So, and now don't quote me on this, but there is a time period in the future where the Zeta Gray aliens destroy Earth. Now, don't quote me on that if that's been stopped or prevented, but what I'm saying is that we're not all ascending. And you guys can agree with me or not, but that's what's in the Voyagers books. And there's a bunch of distortion coming out of Ashiana's new teachings. We're not talking about those teachings. So there is going to be some disagreement because there is a split in the shield. So you have to use your own discernment. And there was a whole letter written by Speaker 2 and Speaker 3. And I'll share that letter with you. And it talks about what your concern is about ascension and awakening. But I can't spend my whole lecture on that tonight on it, so I'm gonna give you that link, which is the whole letter. Oh, chicas masu. Split. KS split. I thought it was Kia split. It's probably not. It's not found, so let me find out what it is. Because that's important, because I'm sure there's more people than you who are thinking about that. So files, websites, Christos avatar, and let me see what it's called. I thought it was called the KS split. MCEO split, shield split. Okay. Remember, this is by speaker 2 and speaker 3, not Ashiana, speaker 1. Because she went off and started doing her own distorted things. At least that's what a lot of us don't believe. And there's so much information that shows that reveals that. And some of that is on camera in Sliders Workshop 12. She will have her breakdown and you try to find Sliders 12, man. So let me go to chat and share that link with you. There's one link. And there's also Lisa Renee's letter, which will help. I don't agree with everything about Lisa Renee, for sure. But there's a lot of things she's coming straight out of the Guardian teachings with. So there is some alignment, some alignment with her. And so she wrote a letter also about the split in the shield and her own ideas about it. So there you go, Machiwa Holy One. Let me see, you guys. Make sure you tag Christos Avatar TV so that I can see your questions. And we usually have moderators here. And if one doesn't come, then we'll have Lauren Wisdom be a moderator. And as a matter of fact, I'll just do that right now. Welcome to the team, Lauren Wisdom. It doesn't mean you have to always be here either, sister. Bless you. We love you. We trust you. So thank you for being here. Just look out for any trolls and take care of those for me because I can't watch the camera the whole time, sister. And maybe one of the other ones will come in. Maybe Giannis will come in or whoever. But anyways, yeah, I didn't see any more questions there, but I need to move on to the oh yeah, there's a whole split in the shield, and I just gave you guys the letter that explain it in depth, and you can decide for yourself. So I made my decision based on what I saw, how she acted, and the things that she did with the company, and how she just rejected speaker 1, speaker 2, and speaker 3. And understand that their company was originally AzeritePress.com. I mean, it was a corporation that they all shared equally, 33% each. But she managed to get rid of the speaker 2 and 3 and then take it all for herself in court process, where she also accused speaker 2 as abusing her physically. So you guys can decide. I just want to say one last thing. She changed her personal name. She changed the teaching name. She changed the company name. And she changed the teachings. So you can decide if you agree with those new teachings or all those changes. It's a red flag, red flag, red flag, red flag. Not to mention the emotional attack she did in Sliders 12. Unless it was Sliders 11. I believe it was Sliders 12. You don't do that. You don't. That's not what Christic people do, man. That's not only love. Okay. She said some pretty terrible things about Speaker 2 and 3, and she called them names and stuff. And this is not how you would expect Speaker 1 to handle this. It's just another thing to think about, consider. It's another thing to consider. So, but she's not the only indigo. Okay? You're an indigo, I'm an indigo, there's others who are part of the Guardian Alliance. And you will know, even in Voyager's books, it talks about every time these Emerald Order, freedom teachings, which is the CDT plates, every time the CDT plate teachings come to Earth, they're always attacked, including in the 2020s of 1920, including 2026 nowadays. It's been attacked. They attacked the teachings in France. They actually murdered all the indigos who were involved. They attacked them in Jeshua, Jesus' time. They did it in, there's different periods of time, where they were taken out. They either get rid of the teachings or demonize the teachers. So we have to understand that. We have to see the context throughout history of how these teachings and the speakers will get attacked. Remember, one of these speakers was Thoth, the fallen angelic, who became a fallen angelic. Okay? So even speakers can be taken over. And so we have to stand in that Christic conviction, stand in omni-love, stand in the 12 attitudes of mastery, stand in the 12 responsibilities of mastery, and treat each other with that omni-love and unity. You can't go wrong. So, now because of all this spiritual warfare playing out, this is why we have the Guardian Angelic Nations and the Guardian Alliance. Now, let me show you some of that. Let me, Lauren Wisdom, woohoo! What's up, sister? That looks good on you, man. What's up? All right. Woohoo! Well, I don't know if she was cloned. Come on, don't be so mean. She wasn't cloned. Maybe she was cloned. Hey, that makes me think. Okay, I don't want to sound like we're mocking her or making fun of her. I love Ashiana, whatever her journey, whatever her path was. But it scared me. It scared me when I saw her appearance look totally different. And she had this long, stray hair. What? It caused a reaction in me when I saw that. But I wouldn't go as far as saying she's cloned. But to each their own. I don't want to sit here and laugh about Ashiana. I told you I love her, and so don't take me out of context. I'm grateful for her and Speaker 2 and Speaker 3 for all the work they did. Now we have all these workshops, which helps us remember and helps us activate. So I will stop that topic right now. So let me bring up, I guess it's safer for me to bring up my diagram in PDF form. And just so you guys know, well, Lauren Wisdom is new, so she doesn't have all the links. She doesn't have all the links, but I hope Lauren Wisdom might remember some of the links. I gotta make a chart so my moderators can use it anytime they want. But open time matrix, and now I gotta open, and just so you guys understand, it's in the description of the video. If you look, I have the links. But if you don't, I'll post them right now. If you're interested in this diagram, because it's one of the ways I can monetize myself or, make a living. Just so you guys know who may not know, YouTube demonetized my channel and they didn't tell me why. It's a form of censorship when you don't tell the person why you put them in jail, for example. Why would you put someone in jail and not tell them why they're going to jail? What are they accused of? They didn't tell me. They won't tell you. And you don't have to believe me. You just have to look. YouTube will not tell you why you're being not paid anymore. They just say you're no longer approved. You cannot earn money anymore on your channel. Okay. So there's 3 links because one's digital, one's a poster, and the third one's a wall tapestry. So I'll ask my moderator, my new moderator, Learn Wisdom, to please save these links on some file on your computer or device. Oh, it's over the limit. I have to post the last link separately because it's over the character limit. Well, anyways, that's they're supposed to go to my shop. What's up with that? Let me try that again, you guys. I will do each link separately. Sorry, this we will get back on track. Just get 1 second here. Here's the digital. Here's the digital. Here's the digital one. Here's the poster one. And here's the tapestry. You guys, it's definitely worth it, especially if you're into these teachings. So much respect, and let me give you the Voyagers links, you guys. This is these books right here for free because they're online for free. So Voyagers. What the hell, man? Why doesn't my freaking browser remember? What the F? Right? What's the difference there? I didn't see no difference there. Oh, it's PDF, not HTML. Okay. So there's the Voyagers 1. And here's Voyagers 2, which is a lot of what I'm going to be sharing with you tonight. So that's why you guys got... Now, Lauren Wisdom, please save these for future uses. Thank you. Christic Mystic, it's not going to happen. I'm going to have to make a separate channel and follow all their rules. You will only see me and me speaking and a little tiny bit of AI. I think that's why I got banned, or maybe they just, it happened as soon, this is not just coincidence, right? This paid ban happened as soon as my first viral video on the Anunnaki happened. As soon as the video went viral, you can see it on my channel, it's my first main video. They said, oh, you're no longer qualified to make money. All right, so you guys got the links and you can see for yourselves. So now let me go to Voyagers 2. And no, it's actually in Voyagers 1, where you'll see Guardian Angelic Nations. It's not just some new age term, you guys. It's a real thing. So let me share the PDF with you. Notice it looks just like the book sitting next to me. Let me show that. It's this book, Voyagers 2, by the original Ashana Dean, not Easha. This is not written. This is not an Easha source. It's an Ashana Dean source. There is a difference. And according to Ashana Dean herself, she said she didn't write these Voyagers books. She said the Guardians did. Whatever that means to you. Maybe it was just shown on the CDD plates and she translated it, but she said it herself in her own, on camera, she didn't write the Voyagers books. The Guardians did. And it is pretty technical. And that makes sense to me, that it's so freaking technical. Like, it doesn't look like it was written by a normal author or human, right? I will search this PDF for Guardian Angelic Nations. There's 37 results. Let me click on that. So you see it's in the Voyagers books. I'm not making it up. We also asked to peacefully assist the Guardian. Let me find out where it explains. Actually, I'll show you in my time matrix diagram. Yeah. First of all, this is the Emerald Order CDT plate teachings, also called the Inner Christos Law of One. Okay, and so let's look at the first group that was created. This was the first group that was created. All right, it's called the Interdimensional Association of Free Worlds, just abbreviated IAFW, a massive service organization with over 25 billion different interstellar races, serving as active members of the IAFW, assembled by the Giannis, that's the Ascended Masters, the Brenoa founders. These are the Ascended Masters. That's outside of the time matrix, outside of the 15-dimensional time matrix, outside, beyond. The Brenoa are also called the Solar Rishi, which is the collective groups called the Elohai, Seraphi, and Brahma. Blue flame, gold flame, violet flame. So that's what that was talking about. The Brenoa, Solar Rishi. 250 billion years ago. So that's when the original fall happened. 250 billion years ago. So that's why they needed now this Interdimensional Association of Free Worlds, because of the original fall. And these beings were creating chaos throughout the time matrix. So the Guardians had to react. They assembled the Ascended Masters, Giannis, and the Brenoa, that's density 4, Solar Rishi, 250 billion years ago, upon reinstatement of the founders' Emerald Covenant. Under direction of the density 5 Emerald Order Elohai, I just showed you that, the blue flame founders, and the gold flame order Seraphi, and the amethyst order Brahma. So all three Solar Rishi, all three Brenoa in density 5. The IAFW rallied their density 4 Christos founders races for reinstatement. Rallied, it means, hey, you guys, come rejoin. We're reinstating the Emerald Covenant. Come and join. Oh, and that's exactly what happened. The Elohai Anuhazi Cat people, that's 12th dimension. The Ceres, Avians, that's the 10th dimension. The Athean Mantis, also 10th dimension. And the Brahma Pegasi, Pegasus, winged horse deers. And the Inusitation Christos founders races. Those are all considered Christos founders races. Organized the IAFW, creating a unified collective of Guardian Angelic Nation. Oh, I need to put an S there to be more syntax correct. To protect our time matrix from fallen angelic race dominion. Because, you guys, a time matrix can be taken over by the fallen angelics. And so this is why they did it. You just saw right there. They're creating this because to protect the time matrix from that happening. For example, there's 24 time matrices in creation. I'm showing you ours. One of these 24 is called the Wezedax time matrix, and that was taken over. It can be taken over because they're based on free will. All those people saying God would not allow that. First of all, you're talking about the fallen angelic ET God, what Christians call Father God, what the Jewish people called Yahweh, what some translations call Jehovah, is not creator. Those are punk-ass extraterrestrial groups, fallen angelic groups, claiming to be creator. And notice this freaking supposed God is freaking diabolical. Worse than humans. It tortures, it kills, it causes destruction, it judges, it's jealous, it's burning angry. It's not God, source. It's not creator. It's an imposter, ET God. And so, when we mention source God, that's why we changed the wording to source God, so you know it's the source of all these other beings calling themselves God. So, this unified collective of guardian angelic nations to protect our time matrix from fallen angelic race dominion, to restore the integrity of our time matrix that was damaged by the fallen angelic warring, and to offer Melchizedek Cloister bioregenesis, which is taught in Cathara workshops, you guys. If you want to learn bioregenesis rehabilitation, you can fix your distorted DNA. So I encourage you guys to watch the Cathara Biospiritual Healing video workshop. So they just explain why they created it, to protect the time matrix from these fallen angelics. And then there's another group called the Melchizedek Cloister Ione Master Council, and then there's the Azurite Templar security team. I'm not talking about those two, but I did tell you that the Azurites were created to be security guards. Now the humans are. The humans are not the center of the universe, like some people arrogantly say or think or believe. However, we are unique as guardians, because not all races were created as guardians. We're one of the guardians. Why? You just saw why. To protect the integrity of our time matrix. Because these diabolical beings are wreaking havoc. And so they created the Azurite security team and the IAFW and tonight's topic, the Guardian Alliance. So let me show that. Let me go back to the hand tool. Okay, the Guardian Alliance, created by the IFW. See, it tells you when. This was created 250 billion years ago. Hello, why I can't select? Oh, this is a diagram. That's why I can't select inside a diagram. So that was 250 billion years ago. So the Guardian Alliance was only created less than 1 billion, 570 million, 568 million years ago, during the reinstatement of the Emerald Covenant, during which the Oraphim angelic human, that's us, angelic human, was created. So the Guardian Alliance was created, and you guys, it says 570 million years ago to 568 million years ago, the Guardian Alliance was created. We were created a few years after that, which was 560 million years ago. So we're part of this. We're part of these guardians coming in to protect our time matrix. Okay? IAFW, Melchizedek Cloister Ioni Master Council, the Azarites Securities, and the Guardian Alliance, and plus us, the Angelic Humans. The Brenois is those density 5 beings, and the Yanis are another word for ascended masters, and that includes the Brenois are the Elohai, Seraphai, Brahmaroma. This is in my diagram, which I just gave you links to, you guys. Please support my work. And this is a freaking awesome tool. Look at it. It has so much data. It gives you the inner earth races and information, the angelic human lineage, the 7 earth seeds, the 7 star seeds. It gives you the indigo races that incarnate here on Earth. It gives you an idea of where the original ones were. That's why it says original, capital letters. And then the angelic human tribes. Obviously, I list all the Anunnaki, Anu Elohim fallen angels, the gold flame reptilian and insectoid fallen angels, and the hybrids, a bunch of hybrids that are made between the Anunnaki and reptilians. All these are examples of hybrid Anunnaki reptilians. And it talks about omni-love. This diagram talks about the law of one, inner earth and parallel earth, and the phantom matrix, of course. It's worth, you guys, this is an awesome tool. I sell it digital and as a poster that you can hang on the wall or as a wall tapestry. I gave you the links. Thank you guys so much for supporting my work. Speaking of which, I want to say thank you to Christopher Paul. Wow, Holy One. Thank you so much for supporting my work. For your information, it's Anahazi Dude, Machiwa. Oh, thank you, Anahazi Dude. Bless you, man. Woohoo! I didn't know you lived in England. Now I do. Or, I'm sorry, UK. That's what I meant. Thank you so much, brother, for supporting this work. And let me thank you, Anahazi. Thank you for that exchange of energy. Bless you. And I just want to say, you guys, remember, I've been demonetized. I'm not earning any money. There should not be. I was saying that. I didn't know that sometimes YouTube will still show, even though I'm demonetized, they will still take it upon themselves to put commercials on my content. Can any of you guys confirm that? Have any of you seen any advertising on my YouTube channel? They shouldn't, because I've been demonetized. I'm just saying, your brother, you guys, please support my work. I put the PayPal link. I don't know if Lauren Wisdom did, but let me do that. Because I survive off of it, you guys. Donations, PayPal. I'm going to put that in chat in case it hasn't been done. Wait, where is it? It's pinned at the top as well. And if you don't have PayPal or don't want to use PayPal, then you can Zelle, Z-E-L-L-L. Z-E-L-L-E, Zelle. You can Zelle transfer it to me. It's connected to my email, which is innerchristos@gmail.com. Inner, you can spell that, right? Christos, C-H-R-I-S-T-O-S, Christos, innerchristos@gmail.com. Thank you guys for supporting my work. And just so you know, I wrecked my vehicle. I was in a car accident. So I no longer even have a vehicle. I'm stuck in this little town with no transportation. So it really helps. Everything that you guys can help, that would be awesome. Thank you so much. So let me go back to the PDF. Oh, Chikasmasu. I wasn't supposed to disappear there. Sorry. All right. So yeah, this is now we explained the guardians. Now we have the time matrix, and It started in the 11th dimension, like I told you. Okay, this is where the original fall happened between the Anu Elohim feline aquatic apes and the Omicron dragon moths. Omicron dragon moths. Omicron, excuse me, I gotta blow my nose, or sneeze, I guess. I can't make myself sneeze, I guess. Okay. They're insectoid dino reptiles. That's what the Dracon. So it was the Omicron and the Anu Elohim who originally fell, and that created problems for everybody in the time matrix because of these jerk-offs. Excuse my language, man, but they created problems they created horrible problems for our time matrix. And they still are, by the way. They're still fallen. The Anu Elohim are still fallen, the Omicron are still fallen, and they've done diabolical things to us throughout history. And they created children. The Anu Elohim fallen angels created the Jehovah and Anunnaki fallen angels, and the Omicron fallen angels created the dragon fallen angels, Dracon. And people will swear, oh, they're not all bad, but they're not all bad. But the majority of their race is. There can be individual dragons, individual family lines or factions that became positive, but they started off as legions of fallen angels. But the guardians are always offering, it even says right here, man, I gotta go slower, I guess. It even says here that they did this, where is it? They create rehabilitation programs to the fallen angels. So some of the dragons would have used some of these rehabilitation programs. You know, give me one moment to blow my nose, you guys, sorry. All right, you guys, sorry. So yes, let me go back to the diagram then. So it was these Anu Elohim and the Omicron who fell, and that's why we have all kinds of that's why we have distortion now. And they're continuously invading all these guardian races, including us and our planet, and now are part of our human drama. So we have these fallen Anu Elohim races that is a Metatron Ascended Master group that fell. And you have all these distorted teachings, including the teachings of Metatron, which are reverse light teachings. They're bogus teachings, man. And that's what my Archangel Michael is. That's what Metatron is. Thoth teachings are also false light teachings, false creeds. Enoch's teachings are false creeds. Galactic Federation is false creeds. Fallen angelics. Starting with the Anu Elohim, who brought us Yahweh, Jehovah, Metatron. Jehovah and Anunnaki, this is the original bloodline. They're dolphin people. And they're the ones who run Galactic Federation and Ashtar Command. And according to the Voyager's books, it is these Pleiadian, they're not Pleiadians, they're Semyasi, but they have Pleiadian DNA because they stole it. They stole it, and you will see that in Voyager's books that they stole the Pleiadian DNA, put it in these creatures that look like pretty perfect humans, That's a quote from Voyagers. I didn't say that because I got some weird reactions in my Instagram when I said pretty perfect humans. I'm not saying that. You get these BS comments, low vibe comments, ignorant comments saying that, oh, you're whitewashing because these beings are white skinned. They're white skinned because that's what their race is. Don't bring in your Earth drama into that narrative, okay? They're mostly the majority race of the Galactic Feds and Ashtar Command is these pretty perfect humans that look like Pleiadians. They're not Pleiadians. They're part Pleiadian, part Anunnaki, part human. That's why they look so much like us. And they're the ones that are being called Nordics. Nordic ETs, Nordic aliens. They're not Pleiadians. They're the freaking Samiasi. Posing as Pleiadians, posing as are, usually wearing false robes. White robes and falsely claim ascended mastery. They're coming from inner Earth, but also some from Alcyon and some from parallel Earth and Ceres A. And this is what contacted Billy Myers, by the way. And notice these are called Luciferians. They were created by the seed race, the Luciferian seed race, which is between an Inky Anunnaki, Marduk Anunnaki, and the Necromaton beetle people and sectoids. And so this is what Galactic Fed. Let me go back to it. This is what's being. The Jehovians manage it. They created it, and the Samiasi Anunnaki are mostly the ones that are in it, so they can fool you, so they can visit you, and they look just like us. You trust them, but have no idea that they're taking you away from your inner Christos. Now they're acting like a saviors to help the human race. You guys, all this distorted ideas and teachings are coming from New Agers channeling. These beings are channeling. It's the same with the Andromes. What is it called? The Necromaton Anunnakis. I made a video about them. Dark-haired aquatic humanoids. These beings are also pretending to be angels, like Archangel Michael, Archangel Gabriel, Archangel Uriel, however you want to say her name. These are not even real beings. They come to you. If you see these beings, they are. Let me see if I can bring that up on my PowerPoint lecture. It's not showing. Huh. It's not coming up for me. So I can't show you. I get this problem sometimes in OBF. It's pretty freaking lame, dude. Yeah. It's not switching over. Okay. But anyways, I made the video and I showed them using technology. They use technology to channel you, New Agers, and give you these false, inverted, false light teachings. They're false light systems. This is a very effective way to bring in all these false teachings, their teachings, and their extraterrestrial gods, and their councils. Not the IAFW, not the Azarites or the Oraphim, not the Angelic Humans. So, the Guardian Alliance is the actual Guardians. Okay? Not the Galactic Fed. And it's very interesting because I have been studying all this secret space program, and they're talking about the same group. They call it the Super Federation. And these Super Federation, these Galactic Feds, have all these extraterrestrial hybridization genetic experiments happening with the humans. And according to several different whistleblowers, they have 22 different genetic hybridized experiments with the human race. We're not meant to be hybridized by anyone else except by the Earthseed races and the Starseed races. The Galactic Fed is not who this teachings are. This is the Guardian Alliance. Okay? They guard, not the Galactic Fed, who are bringing you Savior program. Okay? So you are meant to not rely on some self-proclaimed archangel or some council of nine, which is Jehovah, Luciferian Anunnaki, or some archangel, mystic, guru, whatever, or some religion and their gods. We're not meant to worship any beings calling themselves gods. God, the source God, does not require it, does not ask for it. It is these fallen angelic beings who are finite and are in the phantom matrix, cut off from their kundalini life force, cut off from their avatar family, who are in need of your subservience and worship. It's an energy exchange, you guys. Religion is a freaking energy exchange, a negative one. So, Guardian Alliance, not Galactic Federation. Because you don't see Galactic Federation teaching you the inner Christos. They're separating you from your inner Christos. They're not teaching you law of one, unity consciousness. They teach you hierarchy. Angelic hierarchy. That's elitism, not unity. And so, let me see. You guys, someone's asking about the Earth Alliance. Hey, Stardust Goddess, woohoo! And Giannis. Yes! we got ladies, Divine Feminine, protecting this channel. So thank you, ladies. Thank you, holy ones. Yes, Earth Alliance. That's one of the things that's in my secret space programs. I talk about the Earth Alliance. Thank you for bringing it up, Stardust. This isn't Guardian Alliance, though. This is not the Guardians. And notice it was the Blue Avians who came to those Earth Alliance council meetings, either on Lunar Operations Base or some other base. Okay? So that Earth Alliance is not the Guardians. They're just some human organization that maybe some of them are Guardians in there, but it's not a Guardian administrative group or council. But some of them want positive things to change. That is all connected to the secret space programs. There is secret governments. There is secret military groups, which are kidnapping little kids and putting them in these programs called My Labs. My Labs. Military laboratories. Where they're teaching these kids through horror, through loose energy, through torture. They're teaching these kids how to activate their psychic abilities. This is not Guardian groups. And so some of that Earth Alliance could be part of that. Okay? Earth Alliance is not all about unity and law of one or the inner Christos. So, but there are some good guys in there. So Earth Alliance is a good group. Thank you for those hearts, whoever's sending all those hearts. Aren't you tired? Aren't you tired of sending so much love? No? I love you. I want to do some hearts with you. Yes, love, baby. What's up? Bring that love. So, yeah. I talk about the secret space program, and I put the Earth Alliance in my videos. But they just like the Emerald Order speakers can be infiltrated. So is the Earth Alliance can be infiltrated. So we have MJ12. They're infiltrating all these groups. They're representing these alien extraterrestrials groups, these Super Federation groups, these Galactic Fed groups. We got our work cut out for us, Guardians. No one said it was going to be easy. It's not easy. So these things are real, man. There is secret governments, and not just United States. All these major governments know now about the secret space programs because they have their own secret space programs. The UN. Let me say that again. The UN has their own secret space program. Vatos. United States, whoever, China, Russia, the Hindus. I'm sorry. I meant to. Why didn't you say Hindus, right? They have their groups. They have their secret space program. They all have their own secret space programs, which are involved with greater programs. Man, this is not good stuff. When all these groups are still hiding technologies, medical technologies, healing technologies, anti-gravity technologies. We're still being kept by all these freaking secret space programs in the dark ages. We're still being censored, man, by all these platforms. So there is no spiritual awakening yet. We're still being censored. We're still being manipulated. We're still having our DNA effed with and mixed with extraterrestrial groups that are not the Earth seeds, that are not the star seeds. So we have a long ways to go, homies. But thank you for bringing that up, Sardis. Because I always encourage you guys to learn some of these secret space program teachings or narratives. Like even if you don't agree with the network Gaia completely, at least Gaia has the cosmic disclosure, and they're coming out with all of the secret space program information, including Randy Kramer, Emery Smith, Tony Rodriguez. Let me see. Machiwa. Let me bring it up on my computer. I know I have this somewhere. Jason Rice, George Norrie, who I met in person, John Lear, Bill Tompkins. Some of these people were murdered. David Wilcock was also speaking about this stuff. He was murdered. Some people believe that. Pete Peterson, David Adair, Michael Sala, Clifford Mahudi. I believe he's a Native American. Like the message from humankind. These were actually removed. Some of them. The Lunar Operations Command was removed. Research vessels. We are one. Law of one. Michael Jaco. Corey Good. These are two guys coming out of these secret space program groups. And some people don't like Corey Good because he changed his testimony. It doesn't matter. He came and left the original testimony about law of one, about ascension and spiritual awakening. Michael Jaco was is a SEAL. And he's talking about freaking love. We can't do this without love, man. a freaking what do you call it? Those soldiers. He's a super soldier who's learning about love and doing this with an awakening consciousness. So there is good guys in this awakening, in this disclosure movement. I love Michael Jacob, man, and Corey Good's original testimony. They talk about the freaking inner earth. They talk about parallel earth. They talk about consciousness and multidimensional realities, stargates. Freaking what the Guardians talk about, man. And it is emotional because this is a spiritual war playing out. These good guys will be attacked and demonized. Now you guys are demonizing these original Guardians and these whistleblowers coming out because you're falling for they demonize these people. They demonize and cause problems for the Gaia network. Now you think the Gaia network is not legitimate. Now you think the cosmic disclosure is not legitimate. It worked. If you're that weak, it works for you. Some of us know and feel that resonance. We feel that truth. And we also can feel the BS and the lies and the scammers and the false prophets. You have discernment, man, or you don't. And all those people who are lost and confused and following religions and following the false narratives and the false light new age systems, you are only making the dark side stronger and bigger. And it even says in the Voyagers books that they actually are converting all of you New Agers. They're literally converting you so you can do the reverse grid work. You know, the One World Order, Oceana Dean Emerald Order workshop, and the, what's the other one? Let me get those workshops. And by the way, you guys, Stardust Goddess, she's got her own Instagram channel. She's posting these Guardian teachings all the time. Bless you. Thank you so much, Shelley. Thank you so much, Stardust. We got this. We got this. We got this. Holy Grail workshop, I recommend. It's in my members area, but you can find it online. I also got the Kathara in the members area. The avatar level tier or higher, you guys. You want to start studying these teachings, including the Arthurian King Arthur roundtables. There was a real roundtables and King Arthur and Guinevere. There's a Mechanics of Manifestation workshop, the One World Order Rising workshop. It talks about the WTC Pentagon disaster, which is an Illuminati agenda. The United Intruder Resistance workshop. And the Dance for Life workshop, but I'm still trying to find a specific workshop. The Architects of Light workshop that talks all about the Indigo Children. The Dance for Love workshop. Preparing for Contact. That's these teachings and workshops, man. Video workshops. Hundreds of hours of teachings that the Guardian Alliance and the IAFW and the Brenoa have brought us. I'm still looking for that one workshop. Where is it? Where is it? Come on, come on. I guess it's One World Order Rising and the United Intruder Resistance. Those workshops talk about these alien machinery They talk about the alien machinery put on planet Earth. One of those alien machineries is the dyadic crystal grid. The Nibiruan, it's from Nibiru, Nibiruan dyadic crystal grid. I mean, it got taken over by the Nibiruans. The crystal grids was original Guardian tech. But of course, like all the other things they do, they weaponize Guardian technologies. They reverse Guardian concepts and energies. So they use these technologies to channel humans, man. They use these alien technologies to send EM pulse weaponry. The Guardians explain what they did to the 9/11 towers. It's a secret space program technology, Vatos. Run by the freaking Luciferian, Jehovian Anunnaki, Galactic Federation, that includes Ashtar Command. These are not good guys. Guardian Alliance are the good guys, serving inner Christos law of one. Those other groups are about taking you away from your inner Christos, separate, telling you you're separate from God, and that you need to do this and this and that for supposed God's grace, for salvation, for ascension. BS. You do not need no galactic fed. You don't need some self-proclaimed archangel. You don't need no pope. You don't need anything between you and source God. God force. Unicide. You don't need anything between you and God because you have the inner Christos. And when you got Galactic Federation taking you away from your inner Christos and relying on them instead of your own connection to source, red flag, red flag, red flag. What is that person teaching? Red flag. What is that video about? What is that book about? Not about the inner Christos law of one? Red flag, red flag. Inverted light, false light teachings. God is not judgmental. God does not create war or destruction. Certainly isn't angry. Certainly doesn't have a body. Certainly doesn't have a penis or a vagina. God is not called a goddess or a god. Source is the creator. All these other punk asses are claiming to be creators in this final conflict on Earth. We're in the final conflict talked about in Voyagers. They created inner Earth. The Guardians created inner Earth, which is not on Earth. It's not in the first universe. Inner Earth is in the second universe. So, bless all these whistleblowers coming out in the secret space program narratives talking about inner Earth, but they're not talking about inner Earth. They're talking about the honeycomb Earth in the mantle and the crust. There is spaces that they're calling the inner Earth. That's not inner Earth. That's honeycomb Earth. It's called honeycomb Earth because it's shaped like honeycombs in the crust. And that's where a lot of the underground bases are located, in these cavernous honeycomb spaces. There's an ocean of water. They say there's more water in the crust. Is it the crust? They're called the mantle, whatever. There's more water in there than there is in our oceans. There's more life. There's more civilization. Wake the F up. So just understand that when these SSP programs talk about inner Earth, they're not talking about the actual inner Earth in the fourth dimension. Literally, it's actually 3.5 dimension, but you can round it up to 4, right? Because it's not in our universe, which is dimensions 1, 2, and 3. And so there's definitely all kinds of helpful information coming out of the secret space program. that also confirms all those things.
Now, we get a lot of people sending in pictures of orbs and lights and things, of course,
Sorry,
shooting
guys,
around.
that was Emery Smith.
Are people mistaking
I had the guy interview
these
open with him.
interdimensional beings as UFO?
I didn't mean for that to come through, so I paused that video and silenced my speakers. But me and Julia, we saw Emery Smith in Sedona, and he's working. Man, you don't see any of these other whistleblowers go to the actual public, go in public somewhere and talk about this stuff. And there was another big time, I don't think Julia was there when this other guy was there, but there was another secret space program guy who came and did a whole hour lecture. That was at Rion's Team Light Sedona workshop conference a few months back. So Emery Smith was there. Bless that brother. I didn't have an opportunity to talk to him because he was always hounded by someone. I wasn't going to do that to him. I'm just grateful for someone like Emery Smith. And so, man, they try to they threatened him. They tried to kill him a few times. He's still here. Randy Kramer, still here. That guy's a freaking badass. Randy Kramer kicks ass, dude. He just freaking brings it all out. And I can't put Steve, what's his name? Steve something. He's talking about all the UFOs. I don't know if I can trust him. I don't believe that he's a guardian, or he's probably definitely working from self-interest, from his ego. So you see these people a mile away. Then you see someone like Emery Smith or Michael Jaco. Total different frequency, total different intention, and how they speak. So when they're talking about consciousness and how humans are not supposed to be made by reptilians, no, we weren't made by reptilians. That's the problem. There's still people still thinking that and believing that we were made by the Anunnaki. No, we were not. Get out of here. Get that false narratives out of here. Flat Earth, PSYOP. Hollow Earth, PSYOP. There's all kinds of PSYOPs, all kinds of inverted teachings, all kinds. It takes discernment. And I always explain to you guys, the best way to check any source is to see, is it based on the idea of a connection to God, or the idea of unity, or the idea of omni-love. Inner Christos, which is connection to source, God. Unity, we're all one, we're all equal. And love, omni-love. That goes beyond unconditional love. Okay, omni-love is loving everything. You can have unconditional love, but not love everything. Omni-love is simple, straight up simple. Love all. And if you're telling yourself it's hard for me to love that or that person or this, you still have work to do. Can you love a Hitler, an axe murderer, a fallen angelic? That's omni-love. So, again, if you want to check any person, any teacher, any video channel, any book or whatever, check it if it's based on Inner Christos, Law of One, or omni-love. You can't go wrong with that. And with that, just with that simple little checklist, you can expose and get rid of a lot of distortions in your life. Now, I would go even further and say check things on the 12 attitudes of mastery. And there's something called the 12 responsibilities of mastery. So check them on those 24 marks. And unity and omni-love and unity, omni-love, and inner Christos connection to God. So those are some tools that it can become very helpful in your spiritual journey, holy ones. Like some of you were asking me to check this person. Well, check them for those things. And you can check yourself. and embrace those qualities within yourself. The 12 attitudes of mastery are covered in Kathara, but it's coming out of the Dance for Life, Dance for Love, Dance for Joy workshops. Those are 3 different workshops. I encourage you guys to go through first Kathara. It gives you the basics. And Ashiana will tell you, you need to know the basics of the time matrix and the Partikai in order to really understand everything else. She gives you the basics. The Guardians, it's not her, it's the Guardians. The Guardians give you the basics in Kathara, Biospiritual Healing, and there's some workshop or PDF called The Tangible Structure of the Soul. And then you can get into Dance for Life, Dance for Joy, Dance for Love. Beautiful names, by the way, right? And some of the Sliders workshops. And so there's a lifetime of work. There's so much work, so much fantastic work done by the Guardians and bringing the teachings here. Even in this final conflict, we're in the final conflict, but we're still getting these. Let me check for donations and check for questions. Because it's 8 o'clock. We're going to be going for about 30 more minutes, you guys, okay? Thank you for being here with us in this Christic community. Machiwa! Charlene, thank you so much for your donation, Charlene. Thank you for that exchange of energy. This is how I can survive, and I'm so grateful for you, for your donation. She didn't leave a comment, but that's okay. Thank you. Much respect, much gratitude. Anybody else, you guys, please support my work. I'm only going to be online for 30 more minutes. $5, $10, $50, whatever you feel called. Everything helps. Everything makes a difference in my life. Thank you so much. And you also, remember, you can also get the time matrix diagram or go to I have an Etsy shop that's linked below. I sell t-shirts. They don't sell very well because I don't do much in the Etsy algorithm, but they're still there. So thank you guys. Also become a paid member. I keep forgetting to mention that. There's a paid members, not on YouTube, not on Facebook, not on anywhere except for my Patreon. Please become a paid member. I already have 100 hours of workshops material in there in the members area because this information is highly censored. This is why I put it and reserved it in the members area. I had 2 strikes on my channel for posting that on my free, on my regular Christos Avatar channel. So if I go 3 strikes, my channel will be removed. So I don't do that anymore. They're being censored, you guys. And there's been many channels that have been taken down, uploading all these hours of workshop. I'm not going to have my channel taken down. I put it off of the YouTube platform. It's on my Patreon. So please support my work. $5, $10 memberships. There's $20 memberships that have all the workshops. And I'm going to be putting a lot more. Not all of them yet. I'm saying I put 100 hours in there. I'll put another 100 hours every month until they're all in there. There's no reason why you guys can't have access. Or you can find them on BitChute. You can find some of these workshops on Telegram. You can find them online just by, if you're really serious and trying to find these workshops. Machiwa. Let me check for questions. Looks like we do. Thank you, my fiance, Giannis1111. Oh, we already got a question about Ashiana. I don't know if you're the same person, but I will say it again real quick. Let me share this. Let me see. Is it MCEO? The MCEO. MC shield split. Here's the MCEO shield split to answer your question, brother. And I already talked about this, so I'm not going to repeat myself, but I will share the link again. that's not what I wanted to share. What's up? Sometimes when you put copy, it didn't copy. So sorry, guys. This is the actual link to the split in the shield letter. And I spent 20 minutes talking about it. I'm not going to repeat myself. So that letter will explain a lot for you. But you could also go earlier in the show where I was already talking about Oceanidine. So there was a split in the shield. And she tried to get rid of speaker 2 and speaker 1. Speaker 3. There's always supposed to be 3 speakers. That's the whole point. When one of them goes rogue, one of them did. When one goes rogue, there's still 2 speakers left. What did Oceana do? No. What did Iasha do? She got rid of speaker 2 and speaker 3. And started a new company since she shared equal ownership in Azurite Press Corporation. Sneaky stuff, very suspicious stuff, red flag kind of stuff. But you should always have your own discernment and decide for yourself. I will continue to say I love Oceanidine. I am grateful for all that freaking decades of work that she did. Straight up. So don't take me out of context, because that is the context. I love her and everything she did for all these books and all those 10 years of workshops. Most people say up to 2008. If you follow Lisa Renee, she says 2003. Anything up to 2003 is safe. I say 2008. So, Machiwa, have your own discernment. Bless you. Thank you for those hearts, whoever's doing it. Yeah, I got to put all the links, but I told her earlier that since she's new, she will have to start saving the links. Now that she's seeing examples of all the links, start saving them. Sir Madism's here? He must be here because... Hello, brother, if you're here. Sir Madison, what's up? Yeah, Oh, he's here. Anahazi, Machiwa Anahazi, and fam. I'm here listening at work today. Much love. What's up, brother? Hope you're enjoying your work today. And yeah, you guys, your brother has got some challenges. I've got some challenges, but just understand, I'm not giving up. I would like to call for prayers to our brother Samuel Lee. I'm sure he's going through a lot of hard lessons. I can't agree with all of his practices, but the brother was speaking truth otherwise. I'm not going to say his little clinics or his products he was selling for healing. You know, it's a tragedy what happened. We all have to be responsible for those kind of things. But we can still, as brothers in light, we can still pray for Dr. Samuel Lee. He's no longer a doctor, though. That's been revoked from him, according to what's been said. He's no longer allowed to practice that as a psychiatrist or whatever, or to give people these concoctions of healings, which is not what the guardians do. We do not heal ourselves or others even. We learn to facilitate healing through the Kathara. But maybe that's not so profitable for Samuel Lee, but bless him for at least believing in those herbs or whatever that happened. But there is some red flags in there. But bless him and his work on his conscious awakening. He truly was sharing the guardian teachings, and still is, by the way. He hasn't been imprisoned, so he's still teaching. He's still talking about the Kathara grid. Who else? Okay? You're not going to see that in New Age. They don't have those guardian records or techniques. But Samuel Lee was one of them. Is one of the ones. Hello, what's up, brother? We're praying for you, man. We hope you're going to come out of this successful. I believe you will. It all depends on what do you call it? You go to court and there's some people over there. What are they called? That word escapes me. You know, that group of people who go to court and say, yeah, he's guilty. No, he's not guilty. Those people. Anyways, he's relying on that. That's the only thing that's going to help him now. There's still a chance that he will be cleared of this. Whatever you believe, you guys, I'm just telling you my side, what I believe, that he is truly teaching the guardian teachings, but his healing practices are not. So pay attention to those other things, not so much of that. You know, what he believes, obviously it created a victim, tragically. So something's not right there. You know, I would say if you want to facilitate healing, you don't do it through anything like an herb or whatever peptides that he's pushing. You got to do this through consciousness and techniques like Kathara techniques, not anything else. Just saying. You will not see your brother Nahan. I will never do anything like that, even if it made me a millionaire. I'm not a millionaire. I'm far from it. But I ain't going to resort to selling those kind of retreats or clinics or healing practices. So it's already that time, right? No, not yet. So we're about the Guardian Alliance, you guys, and let me see from the Voyagers to what it may say, or even let me see our sister Lisa Renee, and maybe she has a page called the Guardian Alliance. I would be kind of disappointed if she didn't. Yes, she did. The Guardian Alliance is directed by the Elohim. That's not the word we use, Lisa. Elohai. We don't say Elohim, vatos. Just saying. Elohim is the fallen Elohai, so it's not the Elohai. Guardian Alliance is directed by the Elohai Brenoa, who supported the Guardians incarnated on Earth that are connected to the lineages of the Christos founder races. That's accurate. These are starseeds and indigos that have. We're talking about the ones here, but that's not limit. The Guardian Alliance is not limited to third dimensional incarnates. Okay. Let's do the Emerald Order source. Okay. So let me redirect to the Voyagers 2. And no, Voyagers 1. Sorry, go to Voyagers 1. Switch to the PDF for you guys. And then look at that. I didn't mean for it to do that, but it's sitting right here. Source God. Source God. I don't know why the stupid pop-ups come. I'm sorry, I can't highlight something without the... See, it'll just come up. So, the Unisai, God, created the Ascended Masters, also what we call Janus. So there's God, Source God, God Force. There's the Ascended Master, Janus. And inside the Time Matrix, you have the highest ones called Solar Rishi or Brenoa in Anahazi language. And then the IAFW, Interdimensional Association of Free Worlds, and then the Ayani Master Council in Density 5. I would say these are both in Density 5. Or no, this is not Density 5. What is it saying? This is in Density 5. This is below Density 5. And then you would have the Azarites security team, and then the Guardian Alliance. So there is a frequency difference between the Guardian Alliance and the higher councils or founders. So, and then there's a chapter on intruders and guardians, but I'm trying to go for, let's go for Guardian Angelic Nations. There's a whole chapter, IAFW. Guardian Angelic Nations have served as the primary guardians of our time matrix since the founders' creation of the IAFW. You can see right here, the Guardian Alliance was created 570 million years ago. Okay? Guardian Angelic Nations, the central source of creation as the Unici. Unici. Okay? Which means the central point of all union. Eternal consciousness of the one all. Or just say God. But that word's been abused down here, so we don't really say God, we say source. Or central source of creation. Okay? The Guardians and the Founder races. You will not have the Galactic Federation mentioning any of these actual Guardians. Because it's anti-Guardian, it's anti-Christos. They attacked the Christos Guardians, man. Your Galactic Fed is not what you think it is. We're not Galactic Fed. We're Guardian Alliance. And we're bringing this memory. Again, I brought it in my Sedona lecture at the conference in Sedona. I'm going to bring it to Las Vegas in October. I'm bringing it across the world. I have 1 million subscribers when you add up all my platforms. I'm bringing the Guardian Alliance to 1 million people, not the Galactic Fed. Thank you very much. It says here, due to frequent misrepresentation of the term Ascended Master, that is a common contemporary Earth term. The Guardian Angelic Nations prefer to use the term Janus, which is Anuhazi, which means of or in the Unici, when referring to the Janus collectives or Ascended Master collectives. Now, I told you that the actual word for Ascended Master is Janus, and it's just being confirmed here in the Voyagers 1. Okay, so I'm looking for Guardian Angelic Nations, IAFW. You guys are getting familiar with these terms like Azarite Universal Security Team, just like I have in my diagram. Interdimensional Association of Free Worlds, the Master Council, Indigo Master Council, the Azarite Security Team, Guardian Alliance. Don't forget the Janus, or the Janus Ascended Masters, Brenoa Founder races in our time matrix, which are Elohai, not Elohim, Lisa, Seraphi, not Seraphim, and Brahorama. But I think I know why she's saying Elohim, because even the Guardian books will say Elohai Elohim together. Why did it go back to the top? I'm not trying to go back to the top, dude. Oh, that's Voyagers 2, no wonder. Okay. And it did say who made the IAFW. Who made the IAFW? Oh, wrong side. The IAFW, the Anuhazi, Ceres, Athean, and Pegasi in Inu. So, Anuhazi from the blue flame. From the gold flame, we have the Ceres and the Athean. From the violet flame, they said it was the Pegasi. Those 5 races, the avian horse deer Pegasi, the Athenian mantis, the Ceres bird people, that's 3. What? I'm missing one besides Anuhazi. Which one did I miss? Oh, the Inu whale people. Sorry. It wasn't just the Pegasi. It's also the Inu whale people. Those 5 guardian races, notice they're not red. They're not fallen. They're the ones who created the IAFW, the Interdimensional Association of Free Worlds. And just so you know, it doesn't say here, but there is 25 billion. Let me go back to the camera. There is literally 25 billion different planets who are part of the IAFW. No, the Guardian Angelic Nations. It's the same thing. The IAFW is the Guardian Angelic Nations. The Guardian Angelic Nations is the IAFW. It sounds nicer to say Guardian Angelic Nations. But there's 25 billion different planets, different races in the IAFW, Guardian Angelic Nations. That's a lot, man. Look, that's legions of guardians. That's just singular civilizations. And all those civilizations, probably like us, have billions or more. Several billions, hundreds of billions, maybe a couple big ones with trillions of populations. So that's there's got to be insane amount of different beings who are serving light. The 3 L's that I like to use, even in my prayers. I choose light. I choose life. I choose love. This is the Guardian Angelic Nations. The fallen angels they serve death, sacrifice, torture. That's anti-life. That's anti-God. Anti-Christos. This is where you get the whole term Antichrist from. It's a distortion. Religion is a distortion of the Christos. They brought you a murdered, tortured, mutilated, sacrificed Messiah figure, which is a blood ritual covenant. We don't have nothing to do with blood covenants or sacrifices or saviors or anything like that. Those are false creeds. Now, let me see if I have the Guardian creeds versus the false creeds. Let me see if I have that I can share with you. Where we got that? Guardian. Images. Christos avatar. Assets. Maybe in my assets. Not in my ass. I didn't say that. I said in my assets. Some girls have their ass as an asset. I don't know. Anyways, I don't know why I'm talking like that. Here we go. Okay, so we got that. Let me change this to Photoshop. Change to Photoshop. And then share Photoshop with you guys. And let's show you what is, the false creeds in modern day belief systems. Okay, I thought it was going to not show Photoshop again. This is what false creeds bring you in today's world. Okay? These are dark Templar, anti-Christic creeds in your modern day belief systems. That includes religions, the occult, and New Age. Fear. It's based on fear. It's based on guilt, judgment, elitist, like hierarchy, angelic hierarchy, patriarchal. These are false creeds, not the real guardian creeds. Sexist, they put down women. Most religions on planet Earth, if you didn't know it, are patriarchies. They put down the women in their culture and in their sacred scripts. They put down the women. I listed many different verses in the Bible that put down women. These false creeds say there's something wrong with the human race. Say you are born into sin. Say that you're separate from God, or there's something wrong with humans. That's part of the false creeds. Other false creeds are any practice of sorry, I saw these 3 S's here. Subservience, sacrifice, surrogate gods, blind worship, exploitation of animals and plants. Don't forget those brothers and sisters that are being used and abused, exploited. We don't think about the exploitation of those kingdoms, but they are. Materialism. This is not our creeds. This is the fallen false creeds, inverted light teachings. This is the original creeds. This is our creeds. This is the sacred spiritual science teachings of the Maharata inner Christos, based on, remember, the 12 attitudes of mastery, the 12 responsibilities of mastery, based on omni love, joy, grace. These are some of the attitudes. Respect, responsibility, trust, accountability, impeccability, mindfulness, fearlessness, detachment. We teach you about chakras and Merkabas and ascension science, Kundalini, the stargates. This is the real creeds, the Christos creeds. These are the false creeds. Which ones are you following? Machiwa. Which ones are you following? Omni Christos love, baby. Emerald Covenant for life, man. What's up? Write which one you're following in the comments, beloveds. And even if you're a fallen creed, go ahead and put it there in the comments if that's what you are. No judgment from our side. Okay. Last minute, you guys, for donations. Anyone else out there who wants to leave one more donation? Anybody? Thank you so much, you guys. And thank you for hanging with us tonight. Let me just look at chat, and because I don't see any more questions from Giannis. Of course, Giannis is not here. Maybe. She can't stay the full 2 hours, guys, and that's okay. She takes care of her small child, which is a full-time job, besides her other work, right? Much respect to all you ladies who are single mothers, who became single mothers. What was I doing? Stephen Greer, you said it. Ahatarian, that's an older comment now, but yeah, you're right. He brings out some truth, he's revealing some stuff, but his energy is a little bit shaky, and I seen him attack people. That's not what a guardian does, right? I mean, like, judge, criticize, whatever. It looks like you guys are getting along pretty good. Thank you so much. A troll stands no chance in this chat, right? All right, you guys. Thank you so much for coming to tonight's live. Just so you know, I have a scheduled interview with Arcturus Ra. He calls himself Arcturus Ra. He's an Arcturian, and he aligns himself with the Ra, so a confederacy, I believe. So he wants to talk about AI. I met him in person. Me and Julie had dinner with him and other people from the Sedona conference. So we'll see what he says. Now, just like I don't agree with everything some of my other interviews say, it doesn't mean I agree with everything that Arcturus Ross says, but I love him, and I'm happy that he's doing service, and at these, he's got actually more YouTube subscribers than I do. So it'll be an honor to have him on the show. And some people will have differing opinions, but you guys have to understand by now, I'm going to go to these conferences. They're not going to all be Christic. Okay? So we don't need everybody to be Christic to work with them. I don't need Arcturus Raw to be following these teachings in order to co-create with him. But people will still say shit. And let them. It's not going to ruin my day. It's not going to ruin Arcturus Raw's day. Because when I had Rion on, there were some people talking shit. These are people who are actively trying to wake up people. I'm right there with them. I'm going to the conferences with them with the Christic point of view. So you're not Christic when you start mocking these people or making fun of these people. If you want to leave comments, but come on, you guys. Let's grow the F up and let's co-create and talk about stuff we do agree with. I'm sure we're going to find things with Arcturus Raw that we do agree with. And you might even learn something. My chiwa. Thank you, guys. Thank you for being here tonight. My chiwa. Aho. Namaste. Shaddai Hure Akuntan. Shaddai Hure Akuntan. Shaddai Hure Akuntan. I am God. I am sovereign. I am free. I am Diamond Sun. I am Azurite. I am Indigo Child. Say whatever you are, I am. Know it. See it. Stand in that conviction. Bless all of you guys. I'll see you guys on our interview on Tuesday, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Bless all of you. I'm going to go eat my vegan chili, baby. Chili. No meat. Just tomatoes, bell peppers, and carrots, zucchini. This is an alkaline, alkaline diet. Dr. Sebi, non-acidic diet. Celery. Some of the original recipe had some other stuff, but I just went straight up hardcore. I added some potatoes. It wasn't an original diet because I love the potatoes. It's freaking awesome taste too. I love that extra taste of the potatoes. And of course there's seasonings. Thank you guys. Special shout out to my future wife, my fiance, Indigo Twin Flame. Giannis 1111, Julia, I love you, baby. Machiwa to all of my regulars, machiwa to all of my moderators. Bless all of you ladies, and Sir Madism and Starman. Bless you, Indigo Wizard, wherever you are, brother. Love you. And Little Alien, and all you regulars who come here regularly. Thank you for holding space with us. Thank you for all of you for supporting my work and helping me get through this. You guys, it won't always be like this. I even if I lost my truck and lost my YouTube membership, I have a lot of ideas that are going to help me slowly get back up. I have some ideas, and I'm going to, the next few months, hopefully I'm going to bring out these ideas in living color. I'm going to manifest success, machiwa, abundance. Let's do it. Good night, you guys. Omni Christos love. Thank you for those hearts. To that person who's sending all those hearts through the entire 2-hour live. Good night, you guys.